Dear Professor, it's been 4 years since we met. 4 years since I came to Los Angeles. But I'm leaving, and I'm writing this letter to tell you why. I love Los Angeles. I love this city. This is where they make movies. This place is magical. When I came here for the first time, the city already felt familiar. Like it was a memory that I had deep down somewhere. Going to Santa Monica Pier and seeing the lights on the Ferris wheel. Seeing all those handprints outside the Chinese theater where I saw all those red carpet videos. Going up to Griffith and seeing the Hollywood sign. I'd go watch the movies that you tell me to watch and realize they'd been shot in the city. All those beautiful places and the sunsets. God, those sunsets got to me. But the city doesn't want me. It doesn't want anyone. It could be a job, rent, visa issues, debt, forest fires, or all the above. Just like any other metropolis, it's built to keep people out. You always told me not to make the same mistakes you did, to never wait, because life comes at you faster than you think. Sooner or later, I'll be walking on the beach. I'll be getting bacon-wrapped hot dogs. I'll be watching the sun set through the skinny palm trees. I'll be making movies again. I promise you, I'll be back. My name is Arjun Gupte, and the title of my movie is I'll Be Back.
Perfect. So obviously, I love your movie. I love Fly on the Wall. It was almost like a documentary. It felt like a diary entry. So just tell me, I guess, yeah, this is a question I've been asking everyone, but tell me how you got into the film world and what inspired you to become a filmmaker.
Yeah, how I got into the film world. I mean, I guess I was always kind of like making little films and stuff on my dad's camcorder. He had like an old camcorder that he used to like record us as kids, goofing around. And I used to love to hold the camera. But I never really thought much about like film till like high school. Like I didn't think about it professionally as like a career till high school. I would always shoot little shorts with my buddies at home and stuff and make little just fun little skits. And then in high school is like when I met a buddy who was a musician, and he would tell me like, "Dude, you're so passionate about this thing. You should like just kind of pursue it." And I was like, "You know what? I guess you're right." Like I didn't even realize that people made these things. It's kind of a bizarre thing. But yeah, I got into college, got into a good university, and that kind of proved to my parents that this was like kind of a viable career path, I guess. And then, yeah, and I've been, just excited and passionate ever since. And coming to LA, I mean, obviously you can tell from my short, but it's just like, it's been a dream for me, like absolute like paradise of a city. And it's just so inspiring to be here, like around, all these places where you see in movies and games. And I mean, I had to include the Santa Monica Pier with the Ferris wheel from GTA 5, you know. Um, but yeah, I mean, film, LA, just a huge inspiration for me.
Vespucci Beach for sure. And
Yeah.
what do you still remember the first time you came to LA? As like once you knew you were going to be a filmmaker, and did you see it differently from times before?
Interesting. I mean, I guess so the first time I came to LA was when I flew in for college. I was 18 years old, and
That was the first
uh
time?
yeah, first time. Yeah. Never had been to LA before. But I was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but then I grew up in India. Um, and I kind of like, I mean, I'd been around to places, but I'd never been to LA. I had just seen LA in movies, and obviously I'd played a ton of GTA 5. So, like when I landed, I remember thinking like, why does everything like feel so familiar? Because because I'd already kind of been here like for so long and I'd watched all these movies and like just the way that things were, the way things are in LA are just so familiar to people in general, I think. But yeah, first time landing, I remember like thinking like, oh, you know what, I should listen to that the Miley Cyrus song, And I turned that on when I was like landing and I was like, oh yeah, hell yeah, let's go. Um, yeah, it was funny.
He hopped off the plane at LAX.
Exactly. And then I was like, should I listen to Jay-Z now? But then like which Jay-Z song,
No, that's amazing. And you never forget that first time, I feel like. Um, After college, I moved to New York, obviously. And I had been away from LA for 3 years. I'm like, I'm not gonna miss it. I'm not gonna miss it at all. It was a shithole. And obviously film school was a lot of fun, but I didn't want to stay to make films. I wanted to go back to the East Coast. But when I came back, I was like, whoa, the energy came rushing back. I'm like, LA. This is like where
Yeah.
film was birth. It's like going to the home, the motherland of film. And that's a feeling that you never can shake. And it's a feeling that feels great every time.
Yeah.
How do you feel? How do you look at LA today? Just being here.
LA today, I think, it's changed a lot since I first came here, but it still has that feeling underneath it. I think like, it's very crowded and very like, fast-paced, intense. I work in a tech job technically. I'm like a content producer for a tech company. So, I'm like kind of adjacent to the dream, but I still want to become like a filmmaker and really be a part of like the culture here. And I do think like people are still doing that here. Like I feel like it's been like, with productions moving abroad and like, going outside of LA and, you know, tax incentives being like more, lucrative outside of LA. There seems to be like a bit of the dream has, been subverted a little, but I still feel it. Like I still do feel it the way you were saying, like, whenever I come back to LA, I land in LA, I'm like, I feel it again, like when you come back after a while. So yeah, I still think the energy's here and, you talk to people and they still have the energy too. So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, just knowing you, obviously, you made a feature and just tell me about that. Just tell me like what finally pushed you to just be like, I mean, we're at a stage where we were at a stage where we didn't really care about tax incentives. We were like, let's get three friends together. I have a house or whatever the hell I have. I have a camera. Let me just make a damn tell me how important it is just to be creative and just to express yourself and not worry about getting $1 million budgets.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think, the feature is like a great example of that where I was like, what resources do I have right now? Like I have the ability to, you know, I have an apartment. I have the ability to shoot on like my phone. I have the ability to like act and I have a couple buddies who could like help me with like some of the, gaffing and stuff like that. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just shoot a whole thing in my apartment. And so I did, and it was crazy. I mean, it was like a really nuts experience. The final product is a bit too bizarre, I think, because it's so confined in this, in a single apartment. But I think like I learned so much from that, and I always, to talk about what you were saying is like the act of creating is like so important because it just makes you realize that like so much of everyone's life and my life is like consuming. We're always consuming. On our phones, we're consuming content. We go home, watch TV. And we're in this constant state of consumption. Food, music, um, and then to like flip that and create something is like it just unlocks these like feelings and, excitements in you. And, I also got to thank, Billy Knight Film Challenge because,
Yes.
um, because, like just, I was like, oh, here's an opportunity to create. And I took it and I just was like, you know what, whatever happens, like I get to make something. And it's like, I pushed myself to do that. And I'm so happy that I did because, that whole week where I was editing and I was color grading, I was just having like a total blast. I mean, like any act of creation is a beautiful thing. So yeah, shout out Billy Knight Film Challenge.
Yes. I mean, that was the complete goal of it. That's why it was like the main goal was, at the end of the day, three lucky filmmakers will win a lot of money. And also at the end of the day, just a reason to be creative. Just a reason to go out there, get some friends together, get that actor or that buddy of yours that you've always wanted to reach out to collaborate with and be like, you know what? It was almost like a reason, like there's this thing that you can win $25,000 for. Do you want to help me? Like, who's gonna say no to that? It was such like uh, an olive branch for creativity and collaboration. Because I know
Yeah,
that
exactly.
that incentivized a lot of people. Because like if it's just like a 24-hour film festival, like, but if there's a chance to win $25,000 and you split it between, three people, and like, wow, not bad for a
Yeah,
5 minute short.
100%.
So that's what I was trying to do with that. And I'm so happy that a few of my friends, including you, because you're one of like the best filmmakers I know. And
Yes.
let's talk more about I'll Be Back because it is beautiful. And I just
Thank
wanted to
you.
know more about your inspiration for making it. Like, did that idea come right to you when you're like, what are the ideas? What were like the top three ideas that you wanted to do for the Billy Night Challenge? And was this one, did it come right away?
I've actually, so I mean, I think I actually just this was the one idea I had that I really, really liked. And I've always wanted to do something because, after school, a lot of people leave LA. And you know how it is, and it's like, I mean, you left us, but uh, but I think it's like so many people leave for so many different reasons, and it's like the reasons don't matter, but the thing is like, I mean, you're back, thankfully, so that's like cool, but a lot of people like they don't come back. And there's always this kind of like, when you're saying bye to friends and you're like, yeah, like, you'll be back soon and we'll be making films again and it's gonna be great. But like truth is, most of the people who've moved out haven't come back like you have. And like that's kind of to me, that's like this, there's in that promise of like coming, like, I'll be back. There's this like hidden lie there where it's like, and I think that's really poignant and sad and like um kind of intense where it's like you don't know if you're going to be back and hopefully you will, but the truth is like this is like a really hard city to like live in and like make a life in, and like whether it's rent or whatever, you need to go home to support whatever, or you just trying something new, the coming back to the city is so hard. And so I kind of latched onto that emotion, and I was kind of wanted to build something out from there with I'll Be Back, where you have this guy played by the great Ozzy Vasquez.
Go.
Yeah. And he is just kind of like he has to leave LA and he knows he's gonna leave. And there's like a glimmer of hope, like a little bit of a glimmer of hope that he will come back. But the truth is, and I think this is like true for like everyone who kind of leaves LA, is like that glimmer of hope is like it's dwindling already, and the dream is dwindling already. So I kind of wanted to play on this idea that people are struggling to hold on to that dream, hold on to LA. And like a mentor figure who's passed, um, is kind of like the emotional character attachment that our main character has to LA, and that has just been severed because the mentor is passed. So, everything that, creatively tied, emotionally tied is like, being severed. So that was kind of my whole idea. And then just developing it as like a thing where, you're going around LA and he's enjoying the things that I love about LA, like just how beautiful the city is and how just gorgeous the sunsets are and stuff. And having that um, uh, all built into the film was what my intention was. So yeah.
No, I loved it, especially the just the idea of I'll be back and the idea of what LA means to people. Because a lot of people aren't from here. It's like a transplant city, I'd say. I feel like
Hmm.
it's like that cliche. It's rare to meet someone who grew up here. Um, but this is where people grew up and their dreams were here for some reason. They're like, I don't know what. I live in the middle of Ohio, but my dream is to one day be in LA. And they'll be here for a few years. Their dream somehow doesn't come true, and they got to go back home. And then when they're home, they're like, I gotta go back. I gotta go back. So there's somehow this tie to the city that they barely knew, and this tie to the city that they only lived for a few years in, but it's somehow their dream only lives in this ecosystem. And I think that's very interesting. And that's what I was thinking about when I was watching your movie. I'm like, wow, it's such a powerful city. And if you could talk on that, just like what it's meant to you and how you think kind of it created that mystique and that myth.
Yeah, I think you kind of articulated it really well, where it's like, people in Ohio, you said Ohio, like, I'm from India, I grew up in India, like, people, so many different, like, just from all over the world, people kind of idealize LA as the city where your dreams come true. And it's so true. I mean, like, anyone, can make it in this city. I hope, but that's the thing is like, so many people come to LA because it's this idealized place where it's like, you've seen it in the movies, people are so beautiful all over the city, because everyone wants to be an actor. And, like there's this like storytelling like baked into everybody who comes here. And so that dream is like when you fly in, like when you touch down, there's all this mythology because you've consumed all this media about LA and based in LA, shot in LA. And it's just like this magical place. And, um, some of it's like kind of bizarre and kind of weird. And, that kind of adds to its charm. But I think it's like the best city in the world. I would never move. I mean, also the weather here, come on, it's too good.
Can't beat that weather.
Yeah.
And even more about the producing side now. Did you just shoot it with you and Ozzy?
Yeah,
You're just you with the camera and Ozzy walking around?
exactly. Yeah, I just borrowed my friend's Black Magic and we just kind of went around the city and on a weekend and we just shot. Super fun, super chill.
How'd you make it look like film?
I used a film emulation thing called Filmbox. I always wanted to try it on something, and I thought this would be the perfect thing to try it on because it's like I wanted to emulate kind of a nostalgic vibe.
Mhm.
So I emulated 16 millimeter film with this, and I think well, I don't know, but I
I
think it looks
I
pretty
was I
fun.
was sold. I was sold. Like no way he spent money on film on this, but I want to know what he used to emulate film.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And what about the music? The music was amazing. How'd you choose that?
Yeah, that's my buddy who he scores all my films. His name's Nick Hill, super talented musician. I actually shouted him out earlier in this conversation. He's the guy who kind of pushed me and inspired me to like, pursue creative things as a profession. And he's basically we've been working together since like 11th grade. So I guess that's what is that like 12, 10, 11 years at this point, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, he's super talented. I love what he does. He can transform, my initial ideas about the thing into some, like, just truly elevate it. So yeah, love working with him.
Amazing. Amazing. I'm definitely the same way. I only really work with like my friends of old.
Yeah.
There's that extra bond, you know. They were there when you didn't even know anything about film, and they're still there.
Yeah.
And then I also loved, I was wondering, like, write the monologue first, or did you get inspired by just going around LA and seeing? Did you have in your head like I want to shoot at Griffith, I want to shoot at Santa Monica, I want to shoot at the Hollywood Hollywood Boulevard, or did you write the monologue and then go?
Yeah, I was kind of brainstorming about places that I wanted to go to because I think, the places anchoring in LA is so important to me where like when I think of LA, I mean, I always think of the Santa Monica Pier and I think of Griffith and I think of Hollywood Boulevard. But like, it's mostly like, the first image that comes to my mind is the Santa Monica Pier. Because I used to go there so much in freshman year because if you remember, like the metro line from USC goes straight to the pier. So, and I didn't have a car, so I'd just go to the Santa Monica Pier so much, and it was like touristy or whatever, but I just loved the vibe of that place, just hanging out there with friends and stuff. But then, like all the other places too, like I started to get to explore LA more the older I got, and it became more and more like, oh, Griffith is crazy, like Hollywood Boulevard, and like, you always see movies where they do the hand thing on the Hollywood Boulevard, and like I wanted to get that in there too. So it's like, yeah, I looked around, made stock of what is the coolest things I thought in LA. And yeah, made the monologue based off of that.
Interesting. Okay. That's exact. It's gonna seem like I copied you when you see my movie, but I promise I shot it in February because I went to I went to the Hollywood Boulevard. I went to the pier. I, I didn't go to Griffith. I thought about it, but I'm like, yeah, I don't want to drive all the way up there.
Yeah,
But it's
fair enough.
interesting what people see Hollywood as and the landmarks that we care about. Do you still go to? I feel like Santa Monica Piers just died. It's so bad now.
Yeah, it's a different vibe for sure. And I think like I live in Venice, so being there is like going there is like so easy that I kind of tend not to.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't really go there as much. I think also after COVID, they got a lot of things changed about it. Like, so those guys doing the like crazy dances for the tourists and stuff, like they had to, I guess, I don't know where they are now. Like, where they jump over all the tourists and stuff. I was,
Where they stall for like 30 minutes.
yeah, yeah,
All right, we're gonna
exactly.
add another one. We're gonna add another one. And then the money goes around after every single.
And yeah, I've been in that situation where I've like been picked out as like one of the guys, and I'm like just standing there, and they're like, actually, no, you're too tall. Like, get out of here. So, but yeah, it's changed a lot. You go to Santa Monica at all anymore, or not the vibe
I
anymore?
tried to go recently, and it was just everything's closed now. Like
Mm.
all Third Street Prom, that's closed, and it just seemed more dangerous than before. There was like a shooting the day before on the pier.
Oh,
So I was like,
jeez.
I'll just get my shots and leave.
Yeah, Third Street Promenade definitely has yeah, like everything's closed and even the mall is like empty. It's kind of bizarre. Wonder why that is. Oh, yeah. I didn't know there's a shooting at the pier. I don't know.
I
It's
know
horrible.
it's all hush hush. No one hears.
Yeah.
Did you see Billy Knight? Yes. No, you were gonna go.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, couldn't make it to the screening. I was like, I got off work and I started driving, and then there was just like the block on the thing, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna be like 30 minutes late. I don't want to like walk in, but I'm super excited about watching it.
Yes. No, it comes out in August, and somehow everyone I've interviewed so far is from LA. So I'm gonna try to get you to the actual premiere with like all the
Hell
stars.
yeah,
But
hell yeah.
yeah, that'll be cool. But if you go to the premiere, you got to make sure to buy. They'll kill me if I don't sell actual tickets too. So just buy like a random ticket, and then you can come to
Yeah, I'll buy tickets. I'll buy 5 tickets. Come on,
the. But yeah, it was great catching up. Let's hang out soon. So let's watch a movie. Let's go to Century City.
dude. Let's do it.
Let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
Okay, cool.
All
Any
right.
other things you want to talk about your movie? Any like fun stories that you have about producing it?
Um, Nothing too crazy. I mean, I think it was just like a fun
Just
vibe, and shout out again to Billy Knight Film Challenge for getting me to make something after so long. I mean, it's just yeah, I totally appreciate what you guys did for filmmakers where it's like, Like so many people have ideas, but to get them out of the box is like that's the kind of thing that like, I appreciate that. So
No, I
cool.
mean that means the world. That's what we wanted to do it for.
Yeah.
All
Awesome.
right. It's great talking to you. I'll text you and
Yeah.
we'll hang
Cool.
out.